Make sure you hit that subscribe button before we get started. Some remarks cut far deeper than any argument, and that night my wife found that out the hard way. I'm Adrian, and for years I lived with Mia's sharp wit, sarcasm that teetered between playful teasing and outright belittling. At dinners, gatherings, even on quiet nights at home, she treated mockery like a game she was certain she always won. But that evening, with the living room dim and the TV murmuring in the background, she crossed a line she didn't expect would matter. She flicked her hair over her shoulder, took a slow sip of wine, glanced at her friends, and said with a theatrical laugh, "Honestly, I think I need a new husband. This one's expired." Her friends laughed. She wore her usual victorious smirk. She thought it was all harmless fun. Harmless to take shots at the man who stood by her, harmless to turn me into a joke for the sake of a laugh. What she didn't know was that something inside me had changed. Months of emotional strain had forged a quiet firmness I hadn't shown before. I was no longer the man who swallowed every insult to keep the peace. So when her laughter faded and she looked at me, waiting for me to play along, I simply leaned back and let a slow, calm smile surface. Then I said, "Finally, something we agree on." The shift in the room was instant. Her grin vanished. The laughter shut off as if someone had hit a switch. Her friends stared, unsure of what they had just witnessed. Mia froze, the blood draining from her face. My voice hadn't been loud or angry, just steady, controlled, and sharper than any comeback she had ever thrown at me. She tried to chuckle like before, but it came out strained and shaking. "Adrian, babe, it was just a joke," she managed, clinging to the old dynamic, waiting for me to back down. But I didn't. I held her gaze, calm and unwavering, letting the meaning settle over her. The silence tightened around her, and her friends looked away, uncomfortable witnesses to a moment she never expected. For the first time, she realized she wasn't running the show. For the first time, she understood that all her careless little jabs had consequences. Her friends left not long after, muttering quick excuses, eager to escape the tension. When the door closed, she turned to me with her mask completely gone. "Why would you say that?" she whispered, genuinely confused by the very wound she'd been inflicting on me for years. I answered with a clarity she wasn't used to. "Because I'm done being the punchline in my own marriage." Her breath caught. What she felt wasn't anger. It was fear of losing something she assumed would always be there no matter how many times she mocked it. She sank onto the couch, her hands trembling. She finally understood what she had mistaken all this time. She'd mistaken my silence for acceptance, my patience for weakness, my calm for indifference. She never realized it was restraint. And now she was face to face with the man she never thought I could be, the man ready to say he'd had enough. She tried to offer apologies, explanations, excuses, but they dissolved before they reached me. She had tossed our marriage aside as a joke so many times that she never imagined the day the script would flip. After a long stretch of quiet, she whispered, "You didn't really mean it, did you?" Her voice trembled with the dread of someone finally seeing the line they had crossed. I stood, walked toward the bedroom, and paused. "I meant every word. Now you know what it feels like." She broke. Her confidence evaporated, replaced by tears and panic as she finally understood that her joke had exposed something real. She wasn't the only one who had a say in the future. She wasn't the only one with choices. The moment I stopped shielding her from the effects of her own cruelty, the illusion of control she'd held shattered. The next morning, she was different, quiet, careful, shaken. The lesson lingered between us like a cold shadow. She finally grasped that marriage is not a stage for hurtful humor, and a man's self-respect is not a prop for cheap laughs. She had expected me to bend as always, but instead I broke the cycle she depended on. And that left her completely silent.